in a certain kind of work, if you get sent for, then you should already know the outcome. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Mixtape Moth. If you are rocking with this content, go ahead and smash that like button for your boy. Also subscribe if you haven't. But today, I'm going to be hitting y'all with my thoughts on this new project from the Black Soprano Family, produced by Ill-Tone Beats, entitled The Outcome. So Benny the Butcher's Black Soprano Family label has been working so far this 2025. Now, earlier in the year, the Black Soprano Family released an EP produced by b.t.l entitled Sent For, a project that I did not get a chance to cover, but it was dope nonetheless. But now the squad has locked in with the consistent in-house producer, Buffalo producer, Ill-Tone Beats, for a full-length label compilation. So if you are familiar with El Camino's work, then you are likely pretty aware of Ill-Tone Beats. He also produced for artists like J Skis, Benny, and Fuego Bass. In addition to working outside that particular camp with artists like Crazy Bone and Project Pat. Now, I did like the work that Ill-Tone Beats provided for El Camino's Bill for Cuban Links last year, as well as They Spin on Jesus from 2023. Getting right into the outcome, it contains 14 songs lasting approximately 45 minutes. There's a stacked features list on deck, but with that being said, let me go ahead and just hit y'all with that track by track breakdown. The opener, Words from Westside. It has some boastful words from Westside Gunn over this attractive horn bag beat. That is one of the best instrumentals on this thing, and it is actually a shame that it wasn't used for any rapping. But hey, track 2, Impossible, is a posse cut with Conway, Rome Streets, and J Skis that is set to this quirky rock-like beat that's unorthodox and a little nerdy, if I must say. At the same time, though, it does tap into a certain Griselda aesthetic. Perhaps I've heard a similar type instrumental from Big Ghost in the past, but the machine sets it off with a decent verse. J Skis has an amped like hook, and Rome Streets closes it out with a hungry performance, reminding us that when he's in the booth, you better call a coroner because he'll murder anything he's on. But overall, solid opening track, even though I wasn't crazy about the instrumental. Some people will probably love it though, so I guess it's just a matter of the taste. Track 3, The Outcome, is a Benny solo backed by this murky, gritty instrumental. It's the opposite of pretty, but it gets the job done. And the Butcher has some quotable lines here, like, I'm so rich I can't see a bill being a problem. Every hood rat's dream is to still be with a baller. Then there's the gun bars. I show up with drums to your lab like a co-producer. Next is Super Immaculate with El Camino and AZ. And this has some glorious immaculate strings. Very light on the drums and some faint scratching, but I do feel the faint scratching is what makes this pop. And El Camino was doing his best to hold his own against a legend like AZ. El Camino said, I had the block looking like it's Juneteenth. But it was AZ who came through with some fly wordplay. And the title of the track just best fits the description of AZ's flow and lyrics here. Just super immaculate. Afterwards is the Ghostface interlude, which is just a tease because, look, let's be honest, we all ideally would want a Ghostface verse on a project like this, but we have what we have here, and I must say I did like the sparkling instrumental that Ghost was talking on. Right after is Pick a Side with Conway the Machine, and this has a spacious yet unnerving beat, and Conway is giving us more of a melodic G-Unit-esque hook. Machine did have the standout line though, I call my gun Big Pun, shattered your effing dreams. As a whole, another solid track, but not necessarily mind-blowing. After the Journey skit, we have another Benny solo, 36 ounces in a Mercedes, and it's likely the best one on the project. And that's likely a lot of dope boys' dream, 36 ounces and a Mercedes. And Ill-Tone Beats was in his bag with the warm soul chops here. There were minimal drums, but this was a come-up anthem. Benny talks about his life being a movie that even Scorsese couldn't write. He also reflects on how his heart is still on Genesee and Bailey. But yeah, 36 ounces in the Mercedes was probably the best one. Following this is the two-part Rock Cane by El Camino. And what you have here is a beat switch. On the first, there's this drumless symphonic beat that's pretty lavish. And the second has a groovier, funky instrumental that channels some Wu-Tang vibes slightly. Two different aesthetics, but overall cool track that did show some of Ill-Tone's range. Next is The Mood with Flea Lord and Gully. Now this has an icy atmospheric beat, which was solid, but both MCs really went in on this track and elevated it, in my opinion, just with their hunger and grimy vocals. Gully at a point did sound a bit reminiscent to Shabazz the Disciple. Immediately after is I'll See with Player K. Now this has a playalistic, suave soul sample. It's probably my second or third favorite beat on the project. You have some smooth lines from both El Camino and Player K, but the beat is the selling point. You know, it's something sleek that you could ride out to on a Sunday morning. Track 12, Supreme Baller, features Smoke DZA and El Camino, and it has this alluring sax loop. The instrumental is standout, and overall, this song did feel like a rainy day in the spring, like where you might hop out the whip in a fly tracksuit. Just something about the vibe also felt very fitting for Currency. So you did have some solid verses from El Camino and DZA. Now the Supreme Baller Biggie interpolation was a bit overused, but I still enjoyed the track. Then there is Punctuality with J Skis, Chase Fetty, and the Black Abstract, all going in over this dreamy jazz rap beat. The saxophone was melancholic, but also a high point on the track. All MCs really went in with those ground level motivation raps, painting a picture of coming out the struggle. Then this project ends with the dope record b.t.l, a posse cut with El Camino, Stove God Cooks, and OT the Rail. They are spitting pain raps that are likely going to take you to a place if you can relate. So you have the same sample that Tragedy, Gaddafi, and Cormega used for They Force My Hands, but with less drums. El Camino and OT the Real definitely represented on this one, but it was Stove God who really stole the show. Something that he tends to do pretty often. With vivid drug bars like slow bread to me is no bread. I made $500,000 with the dope heads. My shooter did it off his moped. Blood on his pro kids. Let that soak in. The Coke at 10, Latrell Sprewell, they choking again. Also, I'll drop a classic album the same night, do 100 block flip. So overall, I'm gonna give this project a rating of a 3.5 to 4 mics. I think it's a dope and very solid label compilation with good rapping and super solid instrumental that showcases the label's talent and some of Ill-Tone Beats' diversity and growth as a producer. Sure, there were some instrumentals that I enjoyed more than others. Like, I didn't find the production here to be nearly as appealing overall as the most recent Westside Gunn album or the V Dawn Sent For, but there still wasn't a whole lot to complain about with this either. You have a fresh new package of East Coast rap to hit the streets for the late winter. My favorite tracks include Super Immaculate, 36 Ounces in a Mercedes, Raw Cane, I See, Supreme, Bala, Punctuality, and b.t.l. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out as always. It's peace and blessings. Ill-Tone Beats, Black Soprano Family, The Outcome. One.